legacy of rich academic heritage that Kerala has set. And at a very young age, she has shouldered a lot of responsibility, and I'm very happy that she is doing right things in an expeditious manner without losing time. Thank you very much for involving me in this program, ma'am. It is so nice because you have rightly said a student of law should get periodic assignments so that he will keep on reading. Otherwise, as one of my good teachers, Professor Rajappa says, if you take rest, you will rest. So, in order not to rest, we should not take rest. And when you called upon to finalize the topic, I said I will brood upon freedom of choice versus paternalism in the digital era, because I always very strongly believe that one should be thorough with the fundamentals. Any professional should be thorough with the fundamentals. With that, he should have some super specialized knowledge. Then only he can make a good professional. When it comes to the point of law reforms, giving opinions, suggesting law reforms, enacting new legislations, etc., unless we have concepts in place which can be pressed into service depending upon the need of the state, we will be going wrong. Suddenly, when a law is necessary, we jump around and pick up something and push it through the legislature by voice vote, and later we find that it is yielding perverted results and it is not yielding the type of results which the law is uh, chiseled or fashioned to adopt. For that purpose, I always believe one should be thorough with the fundamentals, and freedom of choice is one of the fundamentals. Paternalism is another fundamentals. For that reason, I felt these two concepts are undergoing paradoxical changes. Paternalism has two dimensions, choice also has two dimensions. State intervenes sometimes to promote choice, sometimes to curtail choice. And paternalistic attitude also is exhibited in both the dimensions. That's why I felt I will talk about this. See, this is a digital era of big data, and we take decisions. There is a wonderful book written by Raghunathan, Games Indians Play. Games Indians Play, Why We Are the Way We Are. This is the title of the book. He is a professor of IIM Bangalore. See, my decisions are not my decisions. My decisions are influenced by somebody else's decision. My junior colleague has bought, what is that, Brezza car, and I drive a Volkswagen TDI. So I felt this fellow, he has joined service only now, he is junior to me by so many years. So I will take a decision to change my car because he has taken a decision to buy his own car. I don't know for what reason he has bought that, but I feel I should change my car. See, our decisions are in a sort of, they are a sort of response to the decisions of others. That is a wonderful book which deals with the concept of prisoner's dilemma in the backdrop of analysis of game theory of economics. It makes a very beautiful reading, and anyone who is interested in having fascinating readings can pick up this book, Games Indians Play by Raghunathan, wherein he very clearly proves that our decisions are not our decisions. Our decisions are based on the decisions of somebody else. The car I have bought, the furniture I have bought, the laptop I have bought, the gadget I have bought, everything I bought because somebody wanted to sell. It is not. All of us have changed 4, 5, 6, 10 mobiles. All of us have changed 3, 4, 5 laptops. Not that the old laptop was not good, it was serving me, but now that MacBook came, MacBook Air, buy it, MacBook Pro, buy it. Each item costs 1 lakh rupees, and for a professor it should be very expensive, but he is compelled because he is nose-led to take certain of the decisions. So the technological development in the form of digital revolution in the world of communication has seen an explosion. It has drastically affected the lives of everyone world over. Innovations have been done, so many things, scientific innovations, but no innovation changed the way the life has changed because of this digital revolution. And almost every transaction, see, other day when the Prime Minister of Netherlands came to Bangalore, he went to Street, and wherein these Pani Puri vendors were accepting money through digital media, and the Prime Minister was he was awestruck. What is happening here? We are trailing so back, and in India everything is digital. So that is the thing. Individuals are made to part with personal information for various purposes, for governmental benefits, for non-governmental associations, for service providers, for right from courier to online orders, for everything, even for ordering foodstuffs, everything, for booking a railway ticket, air ticket, everywhere we are parting with information. And all of us are using these modern gadgets, modern toys. And we have no alternative but to consent to and accept various things without knowing, without pausing to read as to why we are consenting, what we are consenting. So that link is gone. Earlier, people were asking why. Now, that question is not asked because the app will not run unless you say accept, consent. It will not move. That's why I have accepted, consented. And what type of consent this is a very crazy thing. When it comes to the point of digital era, we have some fascinating statistics. As a lawman, I always wonder at certain of the expressions that I stumble upon. Recently, I stumbled upon a concept called doxing. When I came across this DOXXING, doxing. What is doxing? See, there are certain of the agencies which will search and publish private or identifying information about a particular individual on internet. And this is done typically with a malicious intention. See, I have to learn. At the age of 62, I have to learn what is doxing for my own good. And criminal law teacher has to learn what is doxing. We cannot say this is not there in the textbook or whatever it is. Otherwise, we will be out of tune. So fascinating the world is. The amount of data in the world 2 years back was estimated to be 44 zettabytes at the beginning of the 2020. So these are different bytes. This is zettabyte. What you have, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, hexabyte, zettabyte. So this is how the things will go on. Okay, what is a zettabyte? You write 1 and in front of that you write 21 zeros. So 1 followed by 21 zeros.
Someone please mute your mic.
Okay. See, we are speaking about autonomy also. So, somebody is not liking paternalism. So there are some individuals who want to have their choice. Okay, 1 followed by 21 zeros is the zettabyte. This is what I have noted down. I have not written it. Sometimes I will try to write it and count how many zeros I have written, whether 21 or whatever it is. Such 1 petabyte, the size of petabyte, because I am not a technology person, I have to meet friends and ask, what is the size of 1 petabyte? Then I came to know that 1 petabyte can hold the whole US Congress library. That is the size of petabyte. Then I was thinking, what should be the physical size of this petabyte? Then I asked one of my friends. He said, you have this mobile phone, no? The petabyte is half of the mobile phone. So if you can carry the whole of US Congress library in half of your mobile phone size, see what is happening is the as data is increasing, the size is shrinking. The size is shrinking. Earlier, we had to get in mobile that memory full. Then we used to delete some photographs and all that. Now that problem is over. Some of them are on air, cloud. So many things have come, and this has created lot of problems. So at the dawn of the 2020, we had 44 zettabytes, and by 2025, the amount of data that is generated each day is expected to reach 463 exabytes globally. You have Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, etc. These fellows store at least 1,200 petabytes of information. Imagine what is the size of this information and where is this? This is stored of whose information, what control we as the owners under the new Digital Personal Data Act. We are called the owners of the data, personal sensitive data. There is a fiduciary and there is a processor. Rights and obligations of processor and fiduciary are decided, and what the owner can do is also mentioned there. But this has gone beyond. It can be stored anywhere on earth. It is not a necessity that the server should be here in India only. In the earlier version, at the end of Justice Sri Krishna Commission report, please read Justice Sri Krishna Commission's report, and also read one interview of Justice Sri Krishna that was given to Indian Express when his version of the bill was dropped and a new bill was thought about. So this is the thing. By 2025, there would be 75 billion Internet of Things, IoT, Internet of Things, that is devices all over the world. And by 2030, 9 out of every 10 people aged 6 and above would be digitally active. So this starts at the age of 6 onwards, they will be digitally active. That is the type of world that we have entered into. And each day data is generated by social media sites, financial institutions, medical facilities, shopping platforms, all type of apps that we are going to use. In this process, what has happened? In this process, what has happened is, as I was telling you initially, as individuals in this country, as citizens of this country, we have lost what is known as cognitive autonomy. Cognitive autonomy, and this is high time, as say aware citizens of India, as active citizens of India, we should be developing a very strong argument for making cognitive autonomy a fundamental right. In this country, if I do not have freedom to think, if my thinking is also influenced by a pressure group, by an industrialist, or by an entrepreneur, whatever, government policy, whatever, you see, you lay down the facts, I will log on whatever that is necessary, and I will decide what is good for me. Don't make me see the type of advertisements, they are so custom made, designed. See, for example, car manufacturer has targeted his advertisement to the young children. I have one child, generally 1 or 2 children, unless they are blessed with so many children. So I love my child. I have a small budget, middle class man. I can spend around 10 to 15 lakhs. This decision I take. Look, my dear, I can afford only up to 15 lakhs. Beyond that, I do not have money. Papa is a salaried man. Child understands. Then, to please the child, what I do, I will say, Amma, you decide what car we will buy, what color we will buy. So this industrialist knows who decides the brand of the car and color of the. So that's how we see very crazy colors on the road. And you have got what is that sky roof car. No sensible man will put a hole there on the car and project himself out and feel so happy having paid 10 lakh more rupees for that. But this is the world. This is the world wherein we are living. We have lost cognitive autonomy. See, in this era of devices, this is destroying our focus, our ability to think deeply. All of us are confused, all of us are disturbed, all of us are perverted. The last thing I do every day at the age of 62 is check Facebook, check WhatsApp before I sleep. Such a matured man who has seen, who has lived in a world without digital things. I am nose-led to do that. The first thing I do when I get up in the morning is again check Facebook, check Instagram, check this. What has happened is, in the process, we have lost ourselves and we have to guard ourselves about our cognitive assets. This is my fort. I have to guard this fort. I should not allow anybody to interfere in this fort, which should be open only for my thinking. And as a state, it is your responsibility also to guard your citizen, not to be bombarded with useless, unnecessary, influencing information, etc. State also has a responsibility. I have my own responsibility. That is a different thing. And that fellow is a commercial fellow. He wants to sell his goods and products. He has no accountability, responsibility unless something comes through law. So that is the implication. State has a role to play here in protecting cognitive assets. See, what has happened is, in the process, we have all seen this. We have become a sort of cyber zombies. I am a cyber zombie. You are also a cyber zombie. Who is this fellow zombie? He is neither dead nor alive. He has no expression. He is in between death and life, a sort of addict, confused, without thinking ability, and he is addicted to certain of the things. Actually, technology should liberate us and take our lives to greater qualities. But it has happened ulta. Technology has enslaved us. We have become slaves of technology, as if we cannot live without these gadgets. And all of us, by experience, we know whenever we have left our mobile somewhere and walked out, suddenly I remember that I have left my mobile. I feel disturbed, as if something has terribly gone wrong on the earth. Why? Because in that mobile, I have stored all that information, all those passwords, all that account number, and all that online banking, veritable things. This is the level of dependency that we have come across, and we have become slaves. So, technology, instead of liberating us, has enslaved us. So, this is the world, whether we like or not, we are living in this world. This is a fact. All of us, we can say we are blessed with this technology. If you are on the other side, if you are on this side, you can say we are cursed with the technology, but we are there in this technological world wherein we cannot move an inch without technology. Then something about paternalism. What is the concept of paternalism? You see, there are, for example, social security benefits are there. State wants the employees to contribute towards pension, to contribute towards provident fund, social security measures. State wants me to save certain of the things. State gives me concession if I have taken house building loan. Tax rebate is given. State wants that I should construct a house. See, what is the interest that state has in me constructing a house? Because state feels this fellow Patil is my citizen. He is like my son. He should have security. He should have a place to live. And this fellow is a sort of cranky person. He is not going to build a house. So give him some incentive so that to have utility of that incentive, he will build a house. And we require the motorists to wear helmets, to put on seat belts. Otherwise, state will intervene and it will impose penalty fine. Why? State is not interested in collecting that revenue. State is interested in your well-being. State wants that you should be safe. You should be protected against accidents. Okay, there are certain of things. Say if there is a public place, say beach or whatever, when there are no lifeguards, you are not supposed to swim. When there are no lifesavers or lifeguards, and there are laws which prohibit selling of drugs which are not effective, ineffective drugs. So we have all that old case law, and there are laws which have prohibited sale of certain of the drugs which are considered to be harmful. See, right now in Bangalore we have a menace called hookah bar. You should only see that to believe what is the age group of children who go to hookah bars and what they do and what is the passion or fashion that has attracted these boys and girls indiscriminately. See, only we are, and you have heard of these rave parties, outskirts. They go outskirts of the city, and all this is happening despite these prohibitions and all that. See, whenever state considers some of the activities to be harmful to the individuals, it will prohibit them. It will hammer out the behavior and conduct of the individuals to comply with the prescriptions of the state in the interest of this person who is compelled. Okay. So it is in order to protect. See, untouchability is abolished. Somebody cannot consent to be untouchable. He cannot consent to discrimination. Equality is compulsory. Bonded labor is abolished. And one cannot say, okay, my owner is undergoing loss. I am ready to work for less than minimum wages. That is not permitted. That will attract penal consequence. Slavery is abolished. You see, these are the things. See, right now, you may feel that the person is exploited. At least he was getting something as a slave, and now slavery is abolished. He is not getting anything. But in the long run, that is not for the good of the slave. That's why slavery is abolished. And you have that famous Azad rickshaw pullers case, wherein the court molded the relief so that the rickshaw pullers will get their due in the rightful manner. And in the same manner, certain of the civil laws will not enforce certain kinds of contracts. As students of contract law in the initial years of study, we have learnt that the object of the contract, consideration of the contract should not be immoral. It should not be opposed to public policy. If I have entered into a contract of loan during gambling, so that cannot be enforced through a court of law that while we were gambling and this fellow had taken this, that will not happen. And when a minor is involved, despite the religious belief, he is to be administered certain of the medicines because child cannot appreciate what is emergency, what is necessary. So doctors take a decision to administer certain of the medicines, perform certain of the procedure, despite the child's opposition, because as a doctor, he is interested in the well-being of the child. As a state, it is interested in the well-being of its citizens. Okay, so it is like this. Persons may be civilly committed also. There is a mentally disturbed person. There is a possibility that is a busy road. There is a possibility he can walk out into the traffic zone. That's why if you confine him, that is for his protection. You are a benevolent person. That's why you have confined him. You are not deriving any pleasure by confining him. but for his own good. This is paternalism. When we go to a doctor, doctors will not tell truth to the patients. They will, sir, it is a simple procedure. You get hospitalized, sir. One day you will be discharged, and he is going to keep me there for a week. He knows what is happening, but he has his own way of doing things. Okay. If there is a depressed wife, husband may conceal uh, what is this pills, sleeping pills or whatever poisonous pills from her reach, because in depression she should not take some clumsy decision and swallow all those pills and other things. Okay. And in case of accidents, accident has happened, the person has died a treacherous, ghastly death, and his wife comes and asks, oh, my husband is no more. How was his death? Was it peaceful? And nothing wrong if you say it was peaceful. By saying that the death was peaceful. So when an elderly person says, we give out messages, and if you add one more thing, the demise was peaceful, that is some solace to the people. So like this, there are dimensions involved. Say I am a teacher, and some fellow comes and he has written some answer and he has given it to me for correction. He has zero analytical abilities. He has no critical ability. Then he has come to take my feedback. I will not be honest in giving the feedback. I will say, the answer you have written is good, but there is a lot of scope for improvement. I will give you certain of the suggestions. Before you start writing next time, you come, we will discuss, and then you can go on. So I am not honest, but I have to protect the interest of the child. I have to equip him. I should not discourage this person. So all these rules, policies, actions, for various reasons, may be justified on various considerations. What I have done as a father, see, when I take my child out on a street, the child, first thing she will ask is, Papa, I want this pani puri. I said, street food, amma, this is not good, lot of infection, no hygiene. No, no, don't eat it. Then we go ahead, ice cream. Ice cream, say, Bangalore in this season? No, no way, no chance, no ice cream. Then I go, Gobi Manchurian. No, 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 recycled oil, fried food, very dangerous. Then we go ahead. Then I ask the child, what do you want to have, beta? Then she says, this fellow is a conjure smart. She says, I do not want anything because she has learned. See, here, when I am denying my child all this food stuff, I am feeling it is for her good that I am, see, all of us, very frankly, when we go out on a picnic, when we go to a birthday, when we go to meet our friends for celebrations, etc., we do not want our parents to accompany us. I was principal of the college. Then two ladies came and said, Sir, you are sending our children to moot court, sir, to Kerala. Yes, I am sending. You are going with them, sir? No, I am not going. Who is going? Nobody is going. Moot court team will go. Two girls and one boy will go. Then what is this, sir? How we can send girls? See, that is how it happens. You have to send those girls. You have to believe me. You have to believe my boy. And first of all, check whether you can believe your daughters. Then she said, can we go? I said, I will not permit. You also should not go because you will spoil the moot court. Having gone there, you will be hovering around and it will affect the performance. We want liberty. We want freedom. Nothing like freedom. There is a small book written by learned hand. As a student of LL.B, when I stumbled upon this statement, I thought learned hand should be a sort of nickname because, and that is so fascinating a statement, somebody has written learned, and later I learned that learned hand is a great jurist. The book is Liberty. It is a small book, please read it. See, there, what a wonderful statement. Liberty should live in the hearts of men and women. If it lives there, no constitution, no court, no law is necessary to protect it. If it dies there, no constitution, no law, no court can protect it. Liberty is something very, very precious. And we have the same thing coming through Swami Vivekananda. Nothing can confer liberty on you unless you have it not already. And it comes in one of the revolutionary poets of Karnataka, uh, Sarvagna. Sarvagna, he has written, see, uh, string instrument. What is this? A string instrument is good. Friendship of a minister is good. And we should have sympathy of the driver. And ultimately, there is nothing which is comparable to freedom. That's what he has written in a sort of triplet. Like you have Tirukural in Tamil, we have Sarvagna Tripadi in Kannada, a treasure of information. That is the liberty. That is the liberty in which every one of us is interested. So the question is, when we invent reasons to make these rules and regulations in the interest of the person concerned, what is that state is doing, our parents are doing, our individuals are doing? Okay, there are different types of paternalism. One is moral paternalism, another is welfare paternalism. Okay, the usual justification for paternalism refers to the interests of the persons being interfered with. I am interfering with the liberty of somebody else in his own interest. That is the justification for paternalism. See, this is the ground of moral welfare of the individual. Okay, these interests are defined in terms of various things to make a person's life go better, both physical and psychological. See, it is things like death or misery or painful emotional status, which will be taken into consideration to prohibit certain of the things and to allow certain of the things. Somewhere, states will interfere. For example, sex work, prostitution. The sex worker may have a comfortable life. She may be in a position to make a decent living, but state cannot support it because it is a means of livelihood, because state will impose its own moral decision on this activity and it will regulate this activity. See, it is morally corrupting to sell one's sexual services. Sexual activity between consenting adults is permitted if it is a sort of love, lust, obsession, infatuation, any name, but no commerce, no selling of sex. Therein moral element will come. So this is called moral paternalism, moral paternalism. Then you have got legal paternalism. See, legal paternalism means state stands to its citizens in the position of a parent and male parent. It stands in the position of a male parent. As a male parent stands to his child, state is my parent, parent of the citizens, and it takes decision as to what citizen should be permitted, citizen should not be permitted. See, when state decides what I should do, what I should not do, it sounds so outrageous. It sounds so outrageous. Yet the view is that the state has a right to protect persons from their own folly. See, you are a small child, you do not know what is good for you, what you should do, what you should not do. I will decide because I am state, I stand in the position of a father to you. I decide things to protect you from your own folly. See, this seems to provide the rationale for many criminal statutes, and many will wish to repeal these statutes, and the process has already started. John Stuart's Mill, J.S. Mill, he so vehemently rejected from the class of tenable legitimizing principles that which allow the prevention of harm to the actor himself to be a justification for invading his liberty. See, if I am going to regulate the activity of somebody in the name of his good, I can be ultimate tyrant. I go to the class and go on scolding students left, right, and centers. And I start saying, look, I am not having any passion to scold you. It is for your good that I am doing this. So put this banner of your good, you can do anything. But some sensible person will say, what is this? This is all obnoxious. What is for my good, I will decide, whether it is physical, moral, or whatever it is. You please don't decide what is good for me. I feel invaded. I feel outrageous. So, of all the tyranny exercised in the name of the good of the person who is subjected to tyranny can be the utmost. The perpetrator can be unlimited. So, that is the legal paternalism. Certain of the activities which an individual can do, which state considers to be harmful to himself, will be prohibited. That is legal paternalism. There is some fascinating thing here. See, we come across in a day-to-day lives also. Uh, Today afternoon, I had gone to a hotel here in Bangalore. Hand wash. So he, she. So this person who is ahead of me went into he, looked around. There are mirrors and wash basins. No restrooms there. Looked around, and he came out. Then I came to know what he is looking around. Then when I came out, he was again looking around. Then I turned him like that and said, you go this way, right and left. Then he smiled and went. What did I do? I forced him go in a particular direction. Do I have any business to do that? Okay. There is a person who is crossing the road. Suddenly a vehicle comes, a lady or gentleman. I catch hold of that person and pull him back. I have used force against this person. By definition, it becomes assault. I do not have a craze of pulling people who go into the roads. But for the good of this person, who will be is going there, and he knows only Kannada, nothing else. Somebody shouts at him, don't go, you will fall down, you will injure yourself. But this fellow smiles and goes because he is not understanding what the other fellow is saying. So at the end of that, that fellow comes and pushes this person away from that bridge or takes him back or whatever it is. See, there is this element of coercion in paternalism for his own good. That's why we will pull around our children from going here and there. And okay, what is wrong with paternalism? The problem with paternalism is it denies the individuals the ability to make choice. This is a sort of antinomy to paternalism. This is a concept which is opposed to paternalism. So this view underwrites the recent calls for so-called libertarian paternalism. Paternalism is also undergoing changes. Earlier paternalism is state will stand in the position of a father and it will take decisions, and individuals have to compulsorily submit themselves to that. But now it is something different, and there is a marvelous theory concept evolved by Thaler and Sunstein. They wrote a book called Nudge, 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 which became a very famous book, and lot of debate discussion has gone on in this field of libertarian paternalism. Okay, the theoretical framework that they have evolved. What makes paternalism wrong is that it violates the libertarian principle that one should respect individual choice. In this free country, I should have a choice, and as a state, you should respect my choice. You should respect my choice. How you do it? Uh, Excuse me, there is something wrong. So you are coughing.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, we have lost the speaker.
I am coming back. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Oh, oh. Hi. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir. You are
Yes, sir,
audible.
you are audible. Perfectly.
Yeah, okay.
Arey, you were all enjoying my silence.
Yes, sir.
What a dangerous class. You should have alerted me. I was thinking all of you are listening and happily.
No, it was
Eh,
only 2 minutes, 1 minute. That's the silence.
There is a wonderful song in Kannada written by a poet, G.S. Shivarudrappa, that is about a bird which is singing. The bird thinks that there are people to listen to its music. That's why, with all heart and soul, with all affection and love, um, it keeps on singing. So, and it is not in expectation of any reward or benefit. It continues. That is the thing. Okay, we will continue. I was telling you about you have this Kannada man on the bridge. You heard that? Hello.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
You have heard that example. Kannada man who went to Kerala.
we have not heard.
Okay, it is like this. A stranger has gone to a place wherein he cannot speak that language. Okay, that is a dilapidated bridge and very dangerous to go on that. And he's going there. And some local man says, "Don't, Shaji, Shaji sir, you have started presentation." Okay. Hmm. No issues. So somebody there says, "Don't go that way. That is a dangerous bridge. That is dilapidated. You will injure yourself." But this fellow smiles at him because he cannot understand what language he is speaking. He proceeds on the bridge. Then this fellow runs and pulls him away. Okay, is it wrong on the part of the person, a sort of good Samaritan, to venture into and pull away this person who is about to injure himself because he cannot read that board, he cannot read that. See, when a person steps into the road, busy road, and when there is a over-speeding vehicle that is coming, another person who is standing there, he may pull him back to save him from the accident. Is it wrong on the part of this person to use force against the person for his own good? See, there is an element of coercion also involved in paternalism. But legal paternalism is something different. These are the two wonderful scholars, Thaler and Sunstein. They wrote a book called Nudge, Nudge, Nudge. In this, they come out with this concept. What makes paternalism wrong? Because it violates the libertarian principle. And that's why J.S. Mill, right from the beginning, said, I cannot accept any proposition that will interfere with the liberty of the individual. So, liberty is very important in any system for any individual, and you cannot allow anybody to interfere, even if it is state. I am in charge here. I will decide what is good for me, and as state, you do not impose your moral standards on me, and let me decide what is good for me. So that is traditional moral paternalism. But legal paternalism is something different. Why we oppose paternalism is it does not respect individual choices. The choice is very important part of liberty. So this approach of Thaler and Sunstein opens the possibility of non-coercive paternalism. And non-coercive paternalism is not wrong. I will give you a very simple example. When I was an youngster, we used to have bhajans in villages. We used to have plays, different types of plays, folk dances. We used to have different types of local games, competitions, etc. All these things were the means of entertainment. Now that all these things are not there, later movies came. Now movies also have disappeared. Now we have become the gadget oriented, for us the only entertainment. See, we do not have choice. We do not have choice. As a state, if you can work out choices wherein you will provide me facilities to go for a choice which is less dangerous than the harmful choice which I am going to make, that is libertarian paternalism. Okay. So by altering the conditions under which choices are made, see, that's what we are doing. No, we have no choice. When we have no choice, we are compelled to take that decision only. No way. There is no way out. See, now you have online banking transactions, you have got this ATM, you have to do phone pay and all that. Every time some money is deducted, I have no alternative. I have no alternative. I am compelled to use this. I am compelled to lose money because I do not have choice. If I have a choice wherein there will be no commission deducted and a choice wherein commission is deducted, I will go for the transaction wherein commission is not deducted or less commission is there. So you can better tune the choice so that the people, citizens, will not feel constrained, compelled by the state to adopt a particular course of action. See, the basic idea is very, very elegant in libertarian paternalism. And as I was telling you, the concept of paternalism also has to undergo change along with the changing technology and changing concepts. So, choice is to be respected. Okay. So, individual autonomy, wherein one cannot impose his decision on somebody else. Let him take his own decisions and let him choose between the alternatives. And that is at the core of what you know as privacy. All those Puttaswamy 1, 2, decisions, and informational privacy, Millennium Data Protection Guidelines, and the bill that is passed by the Parliament and gazetted also. All these things are there. So paternalism is on one side, and on the other side you have the autonomy, individual autonomy. See, I feel frustrated when state is taking decisions for me. Okay, I will have a sort of moral indignation. I do not have control on my own body. I do not have control on my own decisions. What type of state? Say there is a wonderful WhatsApp thing that came to me. A dog. Dog is decorated in all gold ornaments, full gold. It is highly decorated dog. And in front of that dog, there is a weak dog, starving dog, bony, skinny. That dog is sitting there and it wonders at the gold ornaments of this dog and asks, "Oh, you have so much of gold. Where from you have come?" It is a joke. The dog says, "I have come from Pakistan." "Oh, is that? How is life there?" And they say, "It is all wonderful. I eat biryani of different times every day. My owner is very rich. Can't you see so much of gold and all that?" Then this poor dog, Indian dog, asks, "Then why did you come to India?" Then the Pakistani dog says, "Look, my brother, I am a dog. I do not have freedom to bark in that country. And India is a libertarian country. Dogs can live like dogs. That's why I do not want to lose my freedom of barking. So here I have the freedom to." So that is the thing. See, as an individual, if I do not have a choice, if I cannot express myself about my own choices, if I cannot do whatever I want, I feel invaded. I feel embarrassed. Quite a number of times it happens. So many things. We feel embarrassed. We are made to shell down money. We feel indignation. See, the police fellow will stop us somewhere and he will say, "You are over speeding," and you have to go to court and reach immediately. It may be a better choice for you to pay 200, 500 rupees and get out than arguing with this fellow and take a challenge and all that. So we feel invaded. Okay. So that's why this personal autonomy people say, "I am in charge here. I know what to do with my life, my time, my liberty, and no one can tell me what I should do with my own time." Okay. What I will do with my life. What I do with my life is nobody else's business. You mind your business. Don't poke your nose in my business. Okay. So this is autonomy, personal autonomy. And personal, at the core of personal autonomy is decisional freedom. That is freedom of choice. Freedom of choice. So in this world of digital era, one side you have paternalism, another side you have got individual autonomy, and as society we have to shed certain of the fears, and we should go for a changed situation. The technological revolution, which started as a trickle, has become a torrent. It has invaded our life and it has come here to stay here. Now the equation is, the competition is between free will on one side and a digital dictatorship on the other side. So this person with massive data, he is dictating us what I should do, how I should live, what I should purchase. Everything is dictated. So it is free will versus dictatorship of data, and there is what is known as data asymmetry. I do not have so much of data which the industrialist has, wherein I can protect myself and I can guard against my own decisions. So, in this context, when there is dictatorship of data, we have to reconsider the basic principles. What are the basic principles? Technology has to evolve. All these platforms should come to India. Business should go on. Disputes should be resolved. Economic interest of the country is to be protected. All very fine. At the same time, protect the individual also. So in that interview, Justice B.N. Sri Krishna, in the context of dropping of the draft bill on privacy, when he is interviewed, he says, in what circumstances privacy can be violated? He has given three things. Privacy can be violated in the interest of fundamental rights. In the interest of fundamental rights itself, privacy can be violated. That's one thing. Second, in the interest of national security, privacy can be violated. Third, in the interest of economy of the country, privacy can be violated. And in the same order, he has said in the same order, if you want to compromise choice, if you want to compromise privacy, first, for the sake of fundamental rights, second, for the sake of national security, third level is economic interest. Because I want to attract foreign investment, I cannot customize the law the way these investors want. So as policymakers, those who are at the helm of affairs should be taking a lesson from what Honorable Justice B.N. Sri Krishna has said. See, I was telling you about there is a wonderful book. Please read this. Rahul Mathan, Privacy 3.0. Okay, Rahul Mathan, Privacy 3.0. I keep on reading so many books because these fellows, my students, they have a very crazy habit of presenting me books day in and day out. Day before yesterday, one student came and presented me Falin Ariman, Know Your Constitution. Today, another person came to my office and he has presented me same book again. So he came with 4 advocates. He said, we are going to meet our teacher. We will buy a book which he has not read. Otherwise, the fellow will ask questions. So they bought this book, which I have already. And this is so fascinating to read. So Rahul Mathan, Privacy 3.0, any non-technology man can read this book and understand how beautifully the concept of privacy has. See, initial privacy was privacy 1.0, wherein we were sharing information on the basis of trust. See, I trust you, I will tell this, don't disclose it to anybody. Okay, that was the first level of privacy. And second level of privacy was consent. So don't tell it to anybody without my consent. So if I have consented to reveal, it can be consented. And third level of consent, privacy 3.0, is because of this data world. It is the onslaught of digital assault, and the consent laws that we have evolved to deal with the issues of privacy. When digitization was not there, we are trying to use the same laws to tackle these new situations, and they cannot yield results. This new regime requires a totally new type of laws. I was telling consent, agree, go on pricking, otherwise it will not move. As a law professor, I do not know what I have agreed. As lawyers, you do not know what you have agreed. As the honorable judge, he also does not know what he has agreed. And I am yet to come across a person who has read consent form of any app that will run into pages and pages microprint. Nobody reads that. That's why Justice Sri Krishna, in his report, he says consent is no longer a feasible means of safeguarding the choice, the privacy. Why? Because he says there is the problem of consent fatigue. Consent fatigue. It's like traveling, jet lag fatigue, and all these things. It is consent fatigue. I know this will not move. That's why I consent. I am tired. This thing always comes. Hello, leave it. Hello. I am not allowing it because I want to allow it, not because I want to consent, because I am tired of this pop-up. I will say, so you say, you cancel it. Then he says, why you do not want this ad? I have seen it several times. You go on repeating and repeating. It's a mad world. This is one problem. So when I consent out of fatigue, is it consent? And second is interconnection. See, earlier data used to be stored in separate silos. So this data is here in this pigeonhole, this data is in this pigeonhole, this data. Now what has happened is these things are interacting. Datas are interacting. What I have given to IRCTC, what I have given to, what is that, Amazon, what I have given to Flipkart, see, these things are interacting. And this problem of interconnection is very dangerous. They will understand what I am doing. See, when you take one set of data and superimpose another set of data, you will get something very wonderful, which you will none. See, there is what is known as Tupperware model. In Privacy 3.0, you will come across this Tupperware model. Tupperware was a sort of agent who was maintaining credit ratings of the business people. So somebody wants to lend money, then he will go to Tupperware and he say, see, this fellow has come to borrow. What is his credit records? Then he says, no, he is a good borrower, no defaults, you can trust him. So he was doing that. Then later he developed it into a sort of mega ledger and all that, and he is the first person to process data. This is one thing. And later what happened was, there was some flu-like thing in America. No medicine. Flu was spreading. When flu is spreading, doctors make different combinations of drugs and go on prescribing. It becomes popular. And the way medicines are moving in the market, that combination of medicines are being sold in different areas of America reflects the speed with which the flu is spreading. So this is, see, when you layer data, it will give you a totally different picture. That is another problem, interconnection. These data which are in silos, in separate compartments, they interact. And the third one is transformation. This data is very dangerous. See, I have consented to something. For this, when I downloaded this, I have consent. Allow access to photos, allow access to camera, allow access to this. And I have done something else there also. I have done allow. These two things, when they are superimposed, they will derive my consent for something which I have not consented. When you read them together. So these problems are the Justice Sri Krishna, hats off. At that age, he has given such a wonderful report. Unfortunately, nobody reads. That is another thing. Okay, that's not a big report also. That's a very small report. Anyone can afford. Okay, this is how the personal autonomy, digital era, and state paternalism work. And now coming to another point, okay, I am touching upon the very important area. Attempts are made by Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka to prohibit online games and online betting. Okay, and we have past precedents. Chamar Bagwala case, Satyanarayana case, Lakshmanan case, wherein the jurisprudence is settled well. Game of chance is different. Game of skill is different. Game of chance is wagering. That is prohibited. Game of skill is not prohibited. And the principles are very clearly laid down in this 1996 judgment of K.R. Lakshmanan. Okay. Competition which substantially depends on skill is not gambling. Such competitions are business activities. Okay, the protection of which is guaranteed under 19(1)(g) of the Constitution. So all games involving skill are not gambling. They are business activities as per the Supreme Court, 3-judge bench. Second, gaming is the practice of gambling on a game of chance. So what is prohibited is game of chance. gaming is the practice of gambling on a game of chance. Wagering or betting on a game of skill would not amount to gaming. That is not gambling. If you stake, if you bet on skilled games, that is permitted. Nothing illegal with that. So these are the things, and suddenly we started reading in newspapers that some boy has run into a debt of 60 lakhs. He commits suicide, and there is a very small place near Dharwad called Sirsi, and this boy, innocent boy, ran into a debt of 3 lakhs, and he borrowed 40,000 rupees from his uncle, and he ran into further debt of another 50,000 rupees, 3.5 lakhs, and next day his body was found in the nearby forest. People are committing suicide because they are running into debt trap. Going back to Mahabharata, you have that great lesson of don't gamble. So Yudhishthira was misled into gambling, and he had to stake his wife also, and has to face the consequences. So what is the ethic? Ethic is don't bet. Betting is not good, whether it is skilled or unskilled, whether it is a game of skill or game of chance. See, we have so many families ruined because of horse races. We have so many families ruined because of rummy, physical rummy, playing cards and other things, club goers. All these things are there, and now the platform has become different. It is an online platform wherein people are. The program is so designed as to be addictive, and these people are doing. So Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and recently Karnataka also did this. Okay, and they prohibited, and all these laws are uniformly challenged, and they were struck down to be unconstitutional. Our own Karnataka High Court has struck down. So this was done in the form of amendment to Karnataka Police Act, and this was challenged, and it is struck down, saying that it is against the freedom of choice. Freedom of choice is very important in this country. That is part of the liberty of the individuals, and we cannot allow, because that is part of business, fundamental right. And this individual has a freedom of choice. If he is going to get ruined, he is participating in a skilled game. If he is not so skilled as to lose money, as a state, I do not want to protect him because I respect his decision, his choice of betting on this skilled game. And Karnataka has preferred an appeal to the Supreme Court, and as with all my friends, I am eagerly waiting to see how the decision will be. In the meantime, you have to see Supreme Court decriminalized adultery. Okay, in the new Bharat Nyaya Samhita that is under discussion right now, adultery is deleted from the list of crimes, and even cruelty also is deleted. Attempt to commit suicide is also deleted. Only when somebody threatens against the government that unless you do this, I will commit suicide, that only that portion has remained an offense. Otherwise, all other things are taken away. Okay, so if organizing online rummy or any other similar game is to be banned, this will go to the contrary of the jurisprudence developed by Supreme Court in Puttaswamy, Nautesh in your LGBT and all these things. And you have that wonderful judgment of the Supreme Court wherein it was about what is this currency, virtual currency. RBI issued a circular saying that virtual currency should not be used because that will be used for the purpose of terrorist funding, etc., etc. Then the Supreme Court said there is no sense of proportionality. If somebody is going to use this for terrorist purposes, how you can deny the society the benefit of all these transactions? It was struck down. The question of proportionality also comes. See, what Karnataka did was, it was a sort of, when you read the statement of objects and reasons, uh, it is a sort of, say, fear mongerism. It is see, they present a picture of scaring and say families are getting without any empirical data. If you have powerful empirical data, then that is a different thing. But whatever it is, this is the judgment that has come, and it has gone in appeal, and we have to wait and see. But definitely, Karnataka did not learn lessons from the decisions of Madras High Court and Kerala High Court, and it proceeded. The question arises whether the decisions of these states in trying to regulate online betting, whether it is a skilled game or a game of chance. This is a profit oriented activity. Wherever there is profit, it should go from somebody's pocket to somebody else. Can we afford, as a state, can we afford, or is it too stretching the doctrine of freedom of choice and go on defending? No, you have freedom of choice. You can do whatever you want, and state will not interfere. How long state can go for a hands off with all these things? Are we matured enough when these youngsters from the interior places, semi-educated people, people from middle class are running into debt trap and committing? And the figures are enormous. Figures are enormous. It is really shaking. And only those parents who have lost their child will understand what is the implication of this game. Otherwise, it may be very nice to speak of personal autonomy, paternalism in an online program arranged by Bismi Gopalakrishnan. Okay, that's all which I wanted to say. If there are questions, I will take some questions. Okay, over to you. Back to Professor Bismi, madam.
Yes, sir. Esteemed participants can ask the questions. So it's open for discussion.
They can type also.
Yes, I'll read it out.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, Manoj here.
Yeah. Oh, Manoj. Arey, why you are haunting me wherever I go? You are like Hutch brand of. We used to get that Hutch advertisement. Yeah, come
Sir,
on.
I don't have a question. I just want to read more or know about paternalism. So I wanted a source or a book where I
I
can
have
read.
downloaded quite wonderful literature on paternalism. I will mail that to you.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
I
Sir.
will share
Thanks,
that with you. And there are two wonderful books in the University Law College library. Harm to Self, Harm to Others, written by Joel Feinberg. Harm to Self is one book, Harm to Others is another book. In Harm to Self, you have discussion, wonderful discussion about state paternalism. So next, when you go to Dharwad, you have to look at this book and read. Otherwise, you belong to a very rich institution, you can buy that.
Yes, sir. Definitely,
Okay.
sir.
Buy it, share it with others.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
There is a question by A.D. Singh here. If everyone would be allowed to have their own individual choice, will this not disturb the social order? Social order is based on the shared values and choices. That is the problem, sir. We are moving from a community to individuals. And the social fabric is gone because we emphasize a lot on uh, there is a joke which one of my colleagues says. The daughter tells her father, Papa, I got married. Oh, you got married? Next time when you marry, you please invite me, dear. That is the type of libertarian society we are emphasizing upon. And the persons who speak about the makeups, who speak about dresses, etc., they will run into terrible problems. They will be attacked by anything. Probably the era of shared values is coming to an end because we are emphasizing on the individual liberty. It is a pendulum that is swinging. Right now, the pendulum is going towards individual autonomy, more emphasis. You got Puttaswamy judgment and you got following interpretations. and goes on. Same-sex marriage is going on. Adultery is decriminalized, and veritable things are happening, and we have to go with the current. See, people like me are outdated. We will be dismissed as a sort of earlier era people who are not in tune with the. See, it is like this. 2 years back, I met a lady in Bangalore, and as a old man, I asked a question: Are you married? If it is not offensive, uh, are you married? Then she said, I am living in a open relation. What is this open relation? It was beyond my comprehension of English. Then I had to do my own research, and open relation is a living in relation wherein she can live with anybody she wants, he can live with anybody she wants, and they are living. And because they are living like this, it is a open relation. Oh, what a knowledge, I tell you. I felt blessed by understanding this concept. See, individual choice, individual choice. That's how it happens. Yes. Next. Could you please elaborate paternalism in the light of juvenile perspective and reformative transformational theory in the criminal justice? See, this is a wonderful question. Under the new Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, one more punishment is added now: community service. Community service is being brought in, and this was there under the Juvenile Justice Act also. So now the system is getting more humanized, more libertarian, and those era of paternalistic style are slowly changing. And in fact, Justice Malamat Committee also recommended community service as a method of punishment, and the earlier Law Commission report also has recommended that. So, very good question. Okay. Yeah, from the chat box, it is over. My question is that is autonomy a threat to state paternalism? So these are the antinomies. Autonomy and paternalism cannot go together. Okay, if I stand for autonomy, I will not subscribe for paternalism. That's why that new concept, libertarian paternalism, that is a wonderful concept that is to be developed. As a state, I should be given such wonderful choices that I will not go for a choice of harmful consequences. When I have a better choice, I will have a better choice. And as a state, you stand in the position of a parent, and you should give me such wonderful choices. So that is the thing. That is about that book, Nudge, which I spoke about. Yes. Any other question?
Sir, there is one more question, that is using the image of Indian flag in online gaming apps. Is that legal? It's from Lima Joshi. Using the image of Indian flag in online gaming
It
apps.
is like this. For this, the relevant law applicable is Insults to National Honors Act. Okay. And under Insults to National Honors Act, if anybody intentionally insults, then there is a penal consequence. If somebody intentionally insults. Otherwise, for violation of flag code and other things, there is no punishment. But this comes when they are doing it intentionally, they can be prosecuted. There is no confusion about it. Okay. Yeah, that is a question. Paternalistic control can be justified only if decision-making power of individual is temporarily suspended. However small it is it not true that paternalistic control laws are often justified but not legal moralism? Yes, paternalistic laws, it all depends upon the phase through which the society passes through. See, what was moral sometimes, what was immoral is not immoral today. That's how adultery gets decriminalized. And there is a question that adultery is not decriminalized as far as family law is concerned. So that is different. That continues as a ground for divorce. That continues as a ground for divorce, but adultery is decriminalized, and the new act that is not there at all. It is not there at all. Okay. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
I think there are no more questions, sir. So thank you so much. So we just move on to the formal vote of thanks, sir.
Okay,
I
wonderful.
just invite Likita.